Hi, my name is Shelton Fox. I am the author of the Unwritten series. Be the change. Be the change you want to see in the world. I think this phrase has become somewhat cliche. I think it's been used so often in our society that it's losing its potence. And it is a very powerful phrase. Ever since the election, no matter where you turn on social media, you're hearing people venting their frustration. They're venting their outrage. Beyond the personal experiences that you're hearing of people who are being personally affected by the events of this election, everyone seems to have very, very passionate feelings about it one way or the other. You know, either they feel very insulted and offended and protective of people's freedoms and people's justices, or they feel like their candidate won and he's going to make America great again. Or even people in the middle that are just so tired of hearing everyone argue and fight about it that they are passionately telling everyone to shut up. Those are very, very passionate emotions. And one of the things I'm finding that I'm telling myself, I got to a point where I said, what is the point? What is the point of stewing in my emotions? What is the point of continuously being angry, of looking at the injustices that are already happening before the election, and then thinking about the human rights issues that are happening around the world and that are starting to ramp up because of the election, and people feeling like there is now a platform to vent their racism or sexism. What can be done? And I find, for me, being the change kind of takes your power back. Because of the World Wide Web, because of our global connectedness, we are able to find and access at the click of a button information from all over the world about groups, about events, find different ways that we can help. And instead of venting, instead of being angry, instead of arguing, which if you notice, arguing with your friends, arguing with your family, it rarely changes anybody's mind. What happens is it creates hard feelings. Both sides end up getting very, very stuck in their beliefs. And all it does is create dissension. Educating people, that does make a difference. But it has to be done when emotions aren't high, when people aren't already passionate. But how do you persuade people more? How do you influence them more? It's by being the change. It's by being an example. So personally, one of the things that I started doing when I realized that I was deeply having my own anger and frustrations and even fear about what's going to transpire because of the election, I ramped up my involvement. I got involved with at least one group online that is purely about social justice, about sharing information about initiatives that are happening where people can take some kind of action in any situation, and joining other groups, talking to and connecting to different indigenous groups from South America to New Zealand, getting involved with gay rights groups, with other women's organizations, and finding out what's happening, finding out what I can do. You know, even if you're busy in your life, which a lot of us are. You know, I'm the mother of 2 special needs boys. I take care of my mother who lives with me. I work a full-time job as well as write a book series, and I have many outside projects that I also do in my life. There are still things you can do to be the change you want to see in the world. There are letters you can write, emails you can write, there are online petitions, there are places you can go where if you buy one meal from this place at this time, they will match that meal to a homeless family. By getting involved in even the simplest of initiatives, You are putting your actions in words. You are doing more than just talking and venting. You are enacting change. You are showing an example of what we need more of in this world, which is doing, being. People's fears in this election is that we're kind of coming to a time when people compare and say that, we could be heading to a time like Nazi Germany again, where our friends, our citizens could be threatened of being deported because of their race or because of their nationality. So what a better time to start getting involved and standing up than now. If you want to make sure that someone's rights aren't removed, if you want to make sure that someone is protected, do it. Get involved. Find other people. Mobilize. Protesting is wonderful. We all have a right to protest. We all have a right to stand up for whatever we believe in. Do more than that. Do more than that. There are things as simple as there's a love your neighbor challenge. I believe I've got the name wrong, but it was started by people after the election who started leaving love notes for their neighbors, for their gay neighbors or their Muslim neighbors, saying, hey, I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that you're important to me. Your rights are important to me, and I will stand up for you, and I won't let anyone harm you. What could seem like something little, like something that people who haven't tried it might even say it's pointless, could just be something that reaches someone. It could be something that someone sees, and when they're down and when they kind of feel like they're alone and they feel like they may not have anyone to protect them, it lets them know that they're not alone, that there are people that love them. Especially if it comes to where people think this might end up leading, we're going to need each other more than ever. I would say even if this doesn't come to what we think may happen in our country, this is a huge wake-up call that more than ever we need to get involved. Venting is good. Expressing your emotions is wonderful. Emotions and powerful emotions, it's all part of being in this human body, where when we have a thought or when we're told something, we have a chemical and a physical reaction to it. People need to process. However, venting doesn't change anything. Only action can change. No matter if what you do is big or small, it's not cliche to be the change. Change has only been enacted by people who take action. It's when you take potential energy of venting, of expressing your emotions, and you put it in motion, and it becomes the kinetic energy, the snowball that eventually leads to helping another person. Even if it's one person, that's not invaluable. That's something. Or being part of a group that is doing like the water protectors right now and drawing world attention to water rights, to indigenous rights, and being part of something that could potentially change the world. But it's up to you. So instead of using the internet to go online and troll people and vent and yell and debate, go on the internet and start connecting to some groups. Start connecting to groups like Social Justice League, which is small right now, but I know it's got, I've decided to get behind it to help them as well, because the goal of, for example, that website is to be able to connect and post any kind of things that come along, petitions, initiatives, things like the safety pin, express information about it, but eventually to build up community groups in different areas, these social heroes, where, for example, if a place is graffitied with any kind of hate speech, like I believe what happened recently in Indiana, where a church that is open to all people was graffitied with hate speech, that a call can be sent out to that area. Hey, any of the heroes around want to go and help? They can go help remove the paint, help show love, and help be the change to community and say, we're not going to let this happen to you. We're going to stand up. So don't take it as cliche. Just try. Be the change.